John, we've both been doing this a long time, right?
Oh, yeah.
And here we are entering week 8 of an unbeaten year. Talk about what it's been like so far, and we'll talk about both sides of the ball, but this has been a pretty good start for the Braves.
It's been a great start, and it all starts to, the seniors and what they bring to the table, and they've seen success for the last couple of years, and they wanted to keep it going. They worked extremely hard in the off season, and they keep everybody together. They keep everybody on page, on target, and it's been a lot of fun.
Now, I'm going to take you back just a few years ago to your first year here, where I know you had a rash of injuries, and that was a year you were unaccustomed to. But how important was that year to building where you are now looking at the last couple years?
It was, because a lot of those guys, well, everybody but one was a junior or sophomore or even a freshman playing. And we talked a lot. We talked a lot about, sticking with it. And I thought the key was that next off season, the winter, and we won our very last game that year. The thing about that year, we went 3-7. They never quit. They had this, I don't know why, they had this belief in me, and they didn't quit. And then they just carried it through the off season, and then we kind of exploded the last 3 years.
How do you compare this year's team to the last two? Obviously, the last 2 years, you had sound years. You won 9 games each of those two. But this year, 7-0, 4-0 in the league, and you're just debilitating people in terms of margin of victory. How good is this year's team?
Oh, that's a great question, because I thought the last couple teams were really good also. And I didn't have any expectations about this team this year. I wasn't expecting it to be this way. I wasn't sure. But I think it's just a follow through of the culture. And I know that sounds cliche and everything, but these guys just, they know what's expected of them, and then they just keep following through. And they just, the seniors assume the leadership, just as like next year, a new group of seniors will assume this leadership. So I can't explain really what it is. It's just the fact that the seniors want to keep winning, and they looked at what we did in the past, and then they just keep taking it forward.
Let me ask you about your defense. 0 points allowed the last 3 games, 35 points allowed in 7 games. I'm not great at math, but that's only an average of 5. And this is not a really old defense. It's a young defense. How impressive. Have they exceeded your expectations of what you thought they'd do defensively?
By far, because first of all, it's a new defense for me. So I'm running something I've never run before. And I thought we needed it because of the guys we had. This defense is really fast. And it's kind of the reason why I had to change. Really fast. They get to the ball just so well. And yeah, it's exceeded my expectations, because I didn't know what the expectations were going to be. Matter of fact, I was a little nervous because I thought we had to start off well because of our quarterback change. And that first game was 30-7 over Roger Bacon, and we just kept going. So I think the speed of the defense is what makes them successful.
We'll get to the quarterback change momentarily, but who are some of the guys on defense that have really maybe exceeded your expectation?
Evan Riggs is a senior linebacker, a year of experience that he flows well to the ball and gets to the ball. George Vollmer, another senior, is a 4-year starter. He's sort of my quarterback. I talked to George a lot during the week about changes. There'll be times on the field I'll say, I'm not sure I like this. I got to check, and I'll let you know tomorrow. And so George is really good with bouncing off me ideas, what he thinks is good and so forth. But then Drew Rader's another 4-year starter at nose. One of the reasons why I went to this defense, he's a 2-time CHL player. He's just a monster at nose. He gives centers a lot of problems. And then we got 2 sophomores that are playing good football, and Joey Jernigan and Topher Wachtel. But it's a combined effort. The entire I could talk about all 11 guys who are all playing good football.
Now I'm in your coach's room, and we're in December, right? And you got a guy in Devlin Daniel last year who ran for 2,200 yards and 34 touchdowns. And you, the head coach, comes in and says, hey, now we're going to put him at quarterback. What was the reaction of that room and your assistants when you said that?
Oh, they were shocked because they didn't know really how to answer me, because they didn't know it would work. But I'm taking a page out of Scott Miltenberger when he played Mike Daniels at quarterback. I'm taking a page out of my own book when I took a kid that I saw throw out at somebody at third base and made my quarterback at McNick, who was a wide receiver. So, you put the ball in the best athlete's hand, and what quarterback's got in his hand every time. So I said, Devlin's going to be the guy. And they looked at me, and I just kind of said, just make it work. It's only December. Make it work.
Well, it's obviously worked. I mean, he's averaging over 8 yards a carry, and at quarterback he's thrown 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And those numbers are probably skewed because his numbers could be off the charts if he were in the entirety of every game, right?
Exactly.
How seamless has his adjustment been from running back to quarterback?
It's been great, but that's a testament to his work ethic. He puts a tremendous amount of pressure on himself to succeed. So he never practices well. He never plays well in his own mind. And so, that's kind of good when you got a player like that because they're always seeking excellence. And so he keeps pushing himself. And as long as he keeps pushing himself, sometimes we got to pull him back a little bit because he is doing a good job. But just the fact that he puts the pressure on himself to do well, he gets better every week.
As you're aware, he's also pretty darn good in baseball. And naturally, his dad's the baseball coach, Carey, here at Indian Hill. They had a great run, too, last year. They made it to the state, and so I know he's going to be a kid. If you're not dad, but if you watch him every week, every day in football, you've seen him in baseball, should he play both at the next level? I mean, I know he's got to make that decision. He's only a junior, but I mean, I guess it's hard to have options, right?
I just look at it this way, and I would probably never said this 10 years ago. Take the best NIL deal and play them both because that's what everybody else is doing.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, you're probably right. And you can make more money now sometimes in college than you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So talk about this game at Madeira. It's a great rivalry, and I think Chris Stewart's done an outstanding job this year. They're 4-3, 3-1. They lost to Wyoming, but in reality, they're down to QB5. I mean, it's insane. I'm sure they're not looking forward to facing your defense with QB5, but nonetheless, they've had a lot of injuries. And as you well know, at D4, when you have injuries, it can impact you on both sides of the ball. So how do you go into this game making sure your guys aren't overconfident, if you will?
Well, first of all, Madeira is very well coached. You're and I've always said that as long as you're well coached, you're going to be in every game. And they are, and they're playing definitely with a rash of injuries. But the things they do are sound. They're solid. They'll come up with enough tweaks to give you problems. So, with our guys, we've been talking about it all year long. We always talk about a nameless, faceless opponent. So we talk about our biggest opponent is ourselves. That's who we've got to focus on beating. And that's all the demons of being arrogant and being complacent and all those things. So I really try to just surround it with ourselves. And then, then I take a look at, Madeira's our opponent, very well coached, going to give you everything they got. But you got to beat yourself before anything else happens.
And you look at these last 3 weeks. I mean, you're number 1 in Division 4, Region 16, which is important now, especially with the way if you finish in the top. So, and that I know for you guys, looking to the postseason, that's got to be the ultimate objective, correct?
No doubt. You want to be in the top 4 because you want that bye and you want that home game. So, yeah, that's something we talk to the guys about. And then the CHL championship. We still have to play 3 more games, with Madeira and Deer Park and Reading. So, 1 loss is, and all of a sudden now you're a co and tri-champ.
Right.
And that's not something you want. So there's a lot on the table for our guys as far as the playoffs, the CHL championship. I'm not worried about our guys. I think we'll come ready to play. But I also know they'll be ready to play too.
Friday, Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. Again, you've been in a ton of them at other schools as well. How enjoyable is it being a part of that and knowing that when you're in it, your football program is being recognized for being one of the best?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I tell our guys all the time, when you win, there's kind of neat things that happen. All of a sudden, there's a lot more cameras at the game, and all of a sudden you're on TV on a couple of different stations, and then you get the big setup with the Skyline. Skyline's always been really good to me. I've always enjoyed playing in it. I mean, it was a blast when you start at the beginning of the year with that game. But now that you do it throughout the season, our guys are juiced. Our guys are really excited. I mean, it's just it puts you in the spotlight, I guess is what I'm saying, and we're looking forward to it.
Final question for you. You seem so much more relaxed now than years gone by, right? Is that age? Is that comfortability? Am I right? You seem to be, not that you didn't enjoy it back in the day, but you seem to be, I mean, hell, you've won state championships in 3 states, right? I mean, to my knowledge, you're the only one to do that. So I know you go around
yeah.
talking about that all the time. Not, but I mean, are you enjoying it now today more than maybe you ever had?
Yeah, maybe I'm getting older, and the fact that the pressure's always there, but I'm getting older, and I know, I don't know. I am enjoying. I've always enjoyed it, but yeah, I guess maybe I'm a little more relaxed, and maybe it's just the age.
I think we all suffer from the age, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, John. We'll see you Friday night. Thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Appreciate it.